Hello.
And welcome back to Talking Bodies. I'm your co-host, Gracie Simone.
And I'm your other co-host, Jojo. If you're wondering about our accents, it's because we've changed our perspectives. Today, I'm Russian.
And today I'm Australian British.
I thought you were just going to be Australian.
Just roll with it. Jojo and I are changing our perspectives because we're looking into how social norms have evolved over the years.
Our accents don't really correlate to the topic, though.
Well, just do it anyway.
Talking bodies, bong.
What should we start off with?
Let's discuss technology.
Aight, mate.
I think that human relationships are hugely impacted by technology. Walk with me.
Aight, mate, I'm listening.
I'm not one to speak since I'm chronically on my phone.
We know, Jojo.
Oh, okay. But I've seen so much social media content filled with complaints about their relationships. To me, that makes it worse.
Honestly, same. I've seen my friends getting mad about being left undelivered or not getting their text answered. It's kind of weird to see because if they're so desperate to get a response from someone, why don't they just go talk to them in person?
Yes, I completely agree. I think that technology is making people more insecure about their relationships. And the sad part is that it's so normalized to end a relationship over something that could have easily been miscommunication and misunderstanding, which would be so much easier to have been sorted out in person.
Think of some examples where we witnessed this happening either on social media or in real life. Can I go first? I've got a really good one.
Go for it.
Okay, so I always see social media posts of influencers whining about how the person they like didn't snap them back, or sometimes even their friends. And what's worse is that they think it's an appropriate reaction to completely stop talking to or being friends with the person that didn't answer.
I mean, I understand the annoyance if the person on the other line didn't message back on purpose, but as I've said previously, what if it's miscommunication? If that person on the other line really is purposefully ignoring messages, I think that they should just talk it out and about how they're feeling and be straight about it. Get off the phone for just this one thing and talk to them if you really care about your guys' relationship. This whole scenario reminds me of a talking stage. Do you know what that is?
Yes, Jojo. I hear about them on a day-to-day basis.
Well, for those who don't know what the talking stage is,
It's exactly how it sounds.
Yes, let's put it this way. Think of dating as an obstacle with various levels. The talking stage is the level before one person takes initiative and the romantic relationship is officially established.
Perfect explanation.
Thank you. Talking stage is a phrase Gen Z typically uses to describe their relationship when it's in a cocoon.
If you've ever heard of a situationship, it's that too. Kind of. Is it, Jojo?
Exactly. Well, these phrases have been pushed out into teenagers' vocabulary, and I feel like it immerses their relationships in more confusion. And of course, this applies to adults too. They converse with people they're interested in over e-messages and develop a connection through their phones. When issues grow in the relationship, social media is a big consultant.
Everybody I know, including my grandparents, has social media on their phones.
Social media has projected a lot of issues surrounding leaving people undelivered, opened, etc., as we've stated before.
I know what you're talking about. Social media has also started delusions, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Now, if you compare these relationships, or situationships, one could say, to the relationships from our parents. Oh, wait. That comparison wouldn't work.
Why not?
My parents are divorced.
Oh, well, mine are too.
Then I guess we'll have to bring in a guest whose parents are happily married.
She's a sophomore here at Sage Creek High School. Let's welcome our guest, Daphne Garcia.
Hi Daphne, how are you doing today?
Hello.
Well, thank you for coming into our podcast. You're our very first guest, so this is exciting for us.
It feels amazing, Jojo.
We're summoning you here at this moment to ask you a few personal questions about your parents. We want to know how the generation before ours experienced or sculpted romance for us. So here's our first question. Could you briefly introduce us and our listeners to your parents?
So my mom is Veronica Gil and my dad is Eugenio Garcia. My dad is 52 and my mom is 49.
Okay, in as much detail as you want, could you tell us the story of how your parents met?
So my mom and my dad, they both met at church, and my dad had his little band in church back then. So my dad was playing, and I think it was right after church ended, so they were all just like socializing, talking, and that's when my dad laid his eyes on my beautiful mom.
Wow. In the stage before they have dated, how did they approach each other romantically?
He went up to her and she was like, hello, and they exchanged phone numbers.
During their dating relationship, how did they approach each other romantically? So, the same question, but apply it to their dating stage.
He would get her flowers.
So now that they're married with children, such as yourself, how would you describe the ways in which they continue their romance?
Again, just flowers or like simple loving gestures.
Oh my gosh. I loved listening to their story. Thank you, Daphne, for letting us in on heartwarming journey. Bye.
Hearing Daphne's parents' story, it's almost like a mixture of our generation and their generation. You know, with how her dad ghosted her mom over the phone. So there was a little rocky bump in their relationship. But her mom bounced back by taking action and talking about her feelings. I loved that for her.
No, literally. I guess technology doesn't automatically equal romance being dead. Romance is sort of just facing a drought of genuinity, action, and communication outside of phones.
I think it's safe to say that perspectives on romantic relationships
Have not changed.
Now, on the topic of relationships, I've seen a lot of child roles being switched.
Yes! I've seen some controversies on social media surrounding house husbands. Grace, could you describe what a house husband is to the listeners?
A house husband is a man who stays home and does the work around the house or for his family, while the wife earns money for their family. Recently, women have been lightly discussing their anticipation of becoming working wives and coming home to their house husbands on social media, or men sharing the same interest in becoming house husbands. There are several TikTok posts containing gifs of a man and a woman hugging, while the caption reads something along the lines of, "Coming home to my house husband after a long shift at work."
Some videos could be seen as unserious, while others are totally genuine in what they say. Personally, I don't think I could be the one bringing the bread home, nor would I enjoy staying home while my husband works. Don't get me wrong, I am all for women finding their place in the work world. You know what's one really great positive takeaway from house husbands?
What?
More house husbands might indicate more women being welcomed in workplaces. This is definitely a perspective that's changed over the years. Because before women's rights movement in 1848, women were deprived of so many rights such as voting, working, etc. in America. I want to be a working woman myself, but I would just like for my significant other to work as well.
Same. Now switching our perspectives to dress codes.
Smooth, Grace.
Jojo, do you think you've seen unfairness in what girls have to wear versus what boys have to wear?
Oh, without hesitation.
Me too. Especially growing up in Catholic school. Dress code unfairness has been a regular occurrence for me.
Really? What have you been dress coded for?
Okay, so basically, when I was in 5th grade, they created a new rule and enforced it the literal next day after creating it.
What was the new rule?
Well, I was getting there. The new rule was you couldn't wear any socks that show your ankles.
What?
Why this was such a big deal, I'll never know. But
Ankles, seriously? They would hate me.
So, the day after I was told about this new rule, I forgot about it. And my female PE teacher happened to see my ankles and I got a dress code slip.
Getting something on your record because of ankles are crazy. Like, we all have them.
The ankle rule correlates with girls being targeted for dress codes. They had intense double standards for girls opposed to boys.
Like what?
Well, I've seen girls getting dress coded for having slightly too short skirts, but if boys' khaki shorts were too small, that wouldn't be a problem. The same rule would go if your blouse was too small.
Was that in middle school?
Middle school and elementary.
Yes, it's so frustrating. Girls have always been picked out when it comes to dress codes. I can say that is a perspective that has been stubbornly withstanding for decades. Sadly, even though we've literally just discussed how women have started gaining more opportunities in workplaces, we need to work towards equality for girls in school. But I know that dress codes that have been altered are casual wear.
Casual wear? What do you mean?
Casual wear as in pajamas for pants and flip-flops for footwear.
You're right. I've seen a lot of Birkenstocks lately. No shade to those who wear them. It's just they lean toward casual wear rather than formal footwear.
I remember a conversation I had with my dad about sandals. He was dropping me off to school one morning and I had accidentally worn my sandals instead of my sneakers into the car. He said something like, I hope you're not wearing those out to school. You'll get in trouble.
Oh.
I had to tell him that I was switching out my shoes since I'd left my sneakers in the car, but then it reminded me of how students in public schools haven't been scared of wearing sandals, flip-flops, or pajamas lately. So I told him that to counter his statement of me getting in trouble, and he was very shocked.
Why?
Because he said that back when he was in school, so think 30 years ago, kids weren't ever allowed to wear something as casual as flip-flops to school, else they'd get in trouble.
Dang.
I know. I mean, that same rule would apply to your Catholic school, no?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So maybe it's a selective rule.
Was Dad's school public or private?
Public.
Casual wear might just be more welcomed in public schools now, but less in private. So we could say perspectives on casual wear have changed over time, at least for most public schools in America.
But that perspective hasn't changed for private schools and the rest of public schools.
Yep.
So now, well, Grace...
Do your accent.
I'm tired of forcing it, dude.
Well, did you like doing it at first?
Yeah, but now every time I roll my R's, I just bundle spit in my mouth.
Yeah, I've been trying not to point it out, but I'm glad you noticed. I guess our perspectives have worn off then.
It was fun at first, but not so much anymore. Anyways, thank you for listening in on our podcast, you guys.
This was an entertaining spin-off from our usual spooky episodes. We've got to talk about our own experiences, too.
I know. Maybe next episode. We'll see. Until then,
This has been
Talking Bodies.